The Dictionary of Real Estate Appraisal, Chapter L, continued. Page 128. Latitude. The distance of a point on the Earth's surface, north or south of the equator, measured on the meridian through that point and expressed in degrees. Law of decreasing returns. See increasing and decreasing returns. Law of increasing returns. See increasing and decreasing returns. Law of retail gravitation. See Converse's modification and Elwood's modification and Huff's probability formulation and Riley's law of retail gravitation. LCE is the acronym. C, limited common elements, LCEs. Lease, a contract in which the rights to use and occupy land, space, or structures are transferred by the owner to another for a specified period of time in return for a specified rent. See also gross lease, modified gross lease, and net lease. Leaseback, an arrangement in which the seller of a property is obligated to lease the property from the buyer under terms and conditions that are negotiated by the parties. See also sale leaseback. Lease by lease analysis, a discounted cash flow analysis technique in which the terms and conditions of multiple leases encumbering a property are analyzed. Leased fee. See leased fee interest. Leased fee estate. See leased fee interest. Leased fee interest. The ownership interest held by the lessor, which includes the right to receive the contract rent specified in the lease, plus the reversionary right when the lease expires. Leasehold. See leasehold interest. Leasehold estate. See leasehold interest. Leasehold financing. A form of financing in which a mortgage is secured by the tenant's interest in a property. Leasehold improvements. Improvements or additions to lease property that have been made by the lessee. Leasehold interest. The right held by the lessee to use and occupy real estate for a stated term and under the conditions specified in the lease. See also negative leasehold and positive leasehold. Leasehold loan. A loan received by the lessee on improvements, and the leasehold interest in leased property. Leasehold mortgage. C. Leasehold financing. Lease option. A contractual agreement in which a buyer leases a property with an option to purchase at a specified price by a specified date. Common for single-tenant properties, such as residential, industrial, or commercial. Sometimes the rent is above market, or a portion of the rent is applied to the purchase price. Sometimes the seller finances the eventual sale. Lease purchase mortgage loan. An alternative financing option that allows low and moderate income home buyers to lease a home from a non-profit organization with an option to buy. Each month's rent payment consists of principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. The acronym is PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance payments on the first mortgage, plus an extra amount that is earmarked for deposit to a savings account in which money for a down payment will accumulate. Lease rider. An addendum to a lease contract attached to the lease document. Lease rollover. The expiration of a lease and the subsequent releasing of the space. See also renewal. Page 129. Leasing commissions. Fees paid to an agent for leasing tenant space. Leasing fees. C. Leasing commissions. Legal access. The right of an owner to access his or her property, either directly from a public street or highway, or across other properties through easement rights. Legal description. A description of land that identifies the real estate according to a system established or approved by law. An exact description that enables the real estate to be located and identified. Legal entity. An actual or artificial person recognized by law. Usually refers to an artificial being, such as a corporation or partnership, that can enter into a contract and can be sued for failure to meet the obligations of the contract. Legally non-conforming use. A use that was lawfully established and maintained, but no longer conforms to the use regulations of its current zoning, also known as a grandfathered use. See also special use permit and variance. Legal notice. Number 1. Notice to be given in a particular circumstance as required by a statute. For instance, notice required prior to a public sale of foreclosed real property. Legal notice number 2. Notice that is legally considered to have been given as a result of specified circumstances, although there is no proof that the involved parties were actually notified. For example, recording a deed in the proper records office constitutes public notice of the facts contained in the deed. Legal owner. The owner of legal title as distinguished from the holders of other interests. For instance, beneficial or possessory interests. Legal permissibility. One of the 4 criteria the highest and best use of a property must meet. A property use that is either currently allowed or most probably allowable under zoning codes, building codes, and environmental regulations, and other applicable laws and regulations that govern land use. Legal rate of interest. The maximum rate of interest that may be charged under state law. The term is also used to describe the rate of pre-judgment or post-judgment interest awarded by a court. Legislative risk. The risk that current laws and regulations may be changed or modified in a way that will affect the current market value of a property. Lender. An individual, entity, or institution that extends funds at interest. Any institution that invests funds in mortgages. For instance, a mutual savings bank, a life insurance company, a pension or other trust fund, or a commercial bank, or a savings and loan association. Lender participation. A financing arrangement in which the mortgage lender shares in the income or ownership of a real estate venture as a condition of the loan. See also convertible mortgage and participation mortgage. Lender's yield. The internal rate of return accruing to a lender through periodic income from debt service, and the reversion represented by the outstanding principal paid off prior to or at maturity. The lender's yield is calculated with discounting formulas. Lessee. One who has the right to occupancy and use of the property of another for a period of time according to a lease agreement. Lessee's interest. C. Leasehold interest. Lessor. One who conveys the rights of occupancy and use to others under a lease agreement. Lessor's interest. C. Lease fee interest. Letter of credit. A letter issued by a financial institution that certifies that the page 130. Person named is entitled to draw on the institution up to a stipulated sum under certain conditions. End of page.